Hi there, you're listening to Unnatural Selection, the show about newsy type stuff and things. My name is George.
My name is Tom.
And my name is Adam.
And with our powers combined, we are 100% of the thoroughly exhausted Unnatural Selection. Make sure you visit us at our salubrious home on the web, unnaturalshow.com. It's a podcast about the news that tries valiantly, though in vain, to make humour whilst the world disintegrates.
But, importantly, for the last 5 minutes, you've been playing with the beauty settings on your camera.
Listen, motherfucker, I look like shit, okay? How dare you call me out to the listeners knowing full well how badly I feel about my appearance right now.
Well, George,
and this
we're
is
just
why you got to
trying
subscribe to the YouTube.
Yeah. We're just trying to drive
Unnatural Show.
Yeah,
YouTube.com/Unnatural Show to see what a fucking wreck George looks like.
Yeah. Driving more
busy
traffic to the video content that you work so hard on.
You motherfucker.
Yeah. You've had a busy week. We're all, I mean, we do this to ourselves. We record on a Sunday night at like 8 o'clock when we all probably really can't be effed. And, here we are. George, yes, just a bit of eyeliner in the corner of the eyes, darling.
Just a little, I look like fucking Graham Norton with these bags under my eyes. I look like someone's got a little ball bag under each eye.
Yeah.
It's
a perfect
it's
smoky
bad.
eye would just do wonders on you, George.
A JD Vance smoky eye, perhaps. This is a news and politics podcast, not a beauty podcast. Get ready with me while we take down the government. So, speaking of taking down the government, Ben
Labour
Carroll
took down itself.
Ben Carroll of the former education minister in Victoria has successfully knifed Jacinta Allen, and now the sort of right wing of the Labor Party is now the ascendant faction of the Labor Party. Obviously, there is an election coming up, and Jacinta Allen was about as popular as cancer, so they decided to knife her, and with the hopes that they might be able to save the furniture in this next election, because currently Labor, depending on who you're listening to, in Victoria is polling not first, not second, but third behind the Liberal Party and One Nation, depending on which polls you look at, which does not bode well for a party that wants to retain power or in fact, their jobs.
A terrifying prospect, because it's, One Nation, enough said. We all know why One Nation's terrible, but the Vic Libs, as we've often said, have never been able to elect themselves out of a wet paper bag, but them seeming like the more organised, like, together shit party is astounding. You've really cooked it if they are looking like when they are looking like the sane ones. Something's gone horribly, horribly wrong. I found myself this week agreeing with Jess Wilson, the leader of the Vic Libs, but for maybe the first time ever. I was like, "This crazy that I'm on your side here." But her pointing out that Ben Carroll, who is now the leader of the Labor Party,
he's the premier.
He was.
We're burying the headline. He's the premier of Victoria.
He's the premier of Victoria now, formerly the deputy premier. And her point being, well, yeah, he was Jacinta's 2IC. He was involved in all the discussions and the policies and all the things that you hate. Like, this is just more of the same.
It's the exact same case.
It's the Andy Burnham situation in the UK, right?
Well, not quite, because Andy Burnham wasn't as closely associated with the Starmer government, not having been an MP during that term. I think it's more closer to the Keir Starmer, rather than Keir Starmer, it's probably closer to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, right? It's like, you were the 2IC, like, how are you going to be substantively different? Like, you were in the room for all the key decisions about the things that we hate. How is this? It's hard to make a sort of a change election promise,
unless you're coming forth saying, I'm a duplicitous snake.
Yeah. Either way, the message doesn't work.
Lying and evil this entire time.
It was secretly me, not Benjamin Carroll, and it's Ben Carroll with a mustache on or something. It's like it's you have been a key part of the government that is currently being critiqued. So, like, changing the face, but having all of the same party, the same structure, essentially all the same decision makers in place is probably not going to be the thing that restores confidence. And in this situation where it's like clearly a change election, Labor's had whatever it is, 12 years in power at this point in Victoria at the state level.
2014, I think, was the election when Dan Andrews took it from
and I think part of the reason that Labor's disintegrating at the moment is, like, say what you want about Dan Andrews, and people do.
Mm-hmm.
He very much kind of like held the state Labor Party together with a sort of like cult of personality thing. Like, even at his most unpopular, Dan Andrews still had a real support base, a real cult of personality, the diehard supporters that would, go to bat for him no matter what. I mean, you think about what we went through as a state over COVID and the lockdowns that the Labor Party here, instituted under Dan Andrews. They were some of the most severe in the entire world, right? And even through that, he managed to get elected for a third term after all of that. So I think now in his absence, now that he's out of there, and Jacinta Allen has kind of been a bit of a non-entity to most people. And again, she was his 2IC. So it's, again, any possibility that she has of shaking off the problems that people had with him, the growing discontent there, wasn't successful. And again, Ben Carroll was her 2IC. And so now he's got it's like the copy of a copy of a copy. It's the same kind of problem that isn't getting addressed.
How many 2ICs removed? Do you need to be to no longer be Dan Andrews? I think is the Vic Labor problem.
But in lieu of Dan Andrews and his kind of like cult of personality, I think it's just kind of left the Labor Party a bit aimless, a little bit lost, and I think they're.
I don't know about lost. I mean, I think the fact is it's been 12 years. People have, and the state is in crippling amounts of debt. There is.
Yes,
I mean, the fact that there is billions of dollars, and this is genuine reporting. There is apparently billions of dollars worth of corruption being run through, things like the Big Build program with unions and bikies and God knows what else. Like,
it's
like any other time period that the government would have disintegrated in and of itself. The problem is that the Liberal Party, who are the opposition in Victoria, have been so fucking insipid for 10 plus years that it's left them 12 years of runway. There hasn't been a genuine opposition, I think, in Victoria for over a decade. No. Now, we were saying not more than 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we were going through the whole Moira deeming shenanigans. We're like, how can these guys be so inept? And in the course of like a week and a half, it's almost like the Liberal Party's kind of like turned the ship around a little bit. And look, to be fair, Jess Wilson has been, I think, some of her campaigning, some of the social media work that she's been doing with some key members of her team have actually been having cut through. But at the end of the day, it is, Australians, particularly people in Victoria, we hate tall poppies. We hate the kind of this sort of like institutionalized. What's what I'm looking for? Like people that aren't humble about their power. And unfortunately, Jacinta Allen was not humble at all. She was someone who didn't come across as being particularly empathetic. There's all those stories that I just mentioned that have been building up. They've been trying to since Jacinta Allen's been in power, they've been trying to cut back the public service because of all the crazy amount of debt. Like things have not been going well. I think the only reason why we're seeing this happen now.
She's not a very adept politician. I think one thing you can say about Dan Andrews is that he was really good at, sort of cleansing the party of any dissent, right? Yeah. And so the whole thing became a Dan Andrews machine because that was kind of, to a certain extent, how he wanted it. There were certain things he did during his tenure to sort of centralize power within the, Department of Premier and Cabinet and things like that. But ultimately, he was the guy. And when the guy is, it's kind of Trumpian in a certain respect. It's kind of like, once the guy is gone,
who you left with?
Yeah, what are you left with? And she was probably Jacinta Allen's probably a very adept civil servant, but she's not a great politician.
Well, she got handed a poison chalice to some extent. To some Dan degree, Andrews, all the suburban rail loop, which is they're still going ahead with. But I mean, even now, Ben Carroll's saying, "Oh, we're going to have a look at." And this is the thing: is he got in and has straight away has started changing his tune. His first press conference, he talked about, that because they weren't going to do a royal commission into all this corruption. That's like that. Hang on. Jacinda Allen was like adamant, we're not doing a royal commission. It's going to waste money. Yada yada.
And it would also just rip the Labor Party apart because you will inevitably in a massive, program of works that is as large as Victoria's big build, which spans multiple projects with multi-billion-dollar budgets. Yeah, you will inevitably find corruption if you go looking for it, because that is kind of what happens in the construction industry, right?
Yeah.
So,
so he's agreed to it now. So they're going to do the Royal Commission. He's also said, they're going to
cannibalize my own power base. Sure, why not? This will work out well for me. What? There was corruption in the Labor Party.
He's only going to be Premier for like 3 months until they go into caretaker mode for the election. So it's, as you said, it's just saving the furniture. Yeah. I mean, the other complicating factor.
So there's this discontent with Labor. There's all of this discontent with the Liberals because they have provided no bulwark whatsoever against Labor. And so where do people turn? They turn to Pauline Hanson's One Nation.
But this is despite the fact that there is not, there's no candidates at the moment, or at least not many that I'm aware of.
From the One Nation side, you mean?
In Victoria. There's like if they were to hold an election tomorrow and you were to rock up to the polling booth, there wouldn't be One Nation candidates to even vote for. I don't think One Nation
was expecting such a rise in support in, lefty fucking socialist republic Victoria, right? They were caught off guard. They were like, well, we didn't think you guys were fascists to begin with, so we didn't think about actually really standing up a bunch of candidates. Now they're caught off guard.
And we talked about this, again, a few weeks ago. They're not going to be ready for the election.
Well, from your mouth to God's, female ears. I don't know. I hope so.
But people, this is the thing that annoys me about the current media cycle is we're polling, would you vote for One Nation? But whether or not One Nation's even going to be
it's just a protest vote. Yeah, you don't even know who you're voting for. You just the idea somebody else. It's just the idea of somebody else.
So the concept.
Are you dissatisfied? I am dissatisfied. Correct.
The concept that's taken as reliable polling and that is One Nation polling ahead of X, Y. No, because that's not even an option. So what are we saying? That people are going to donkey vote on the ballot or vote for they're going to get to the booth and then go, I guess I'll vote one of the other two parties or an independent or farmers and shooters.
Votes are so fucking considered. Yeah, normally they really go through the policy positions, really figure out what it is that they believe in and then vote according to their own interests. That's how we all know voting works, right? Certainly not an emotional fucking response to knee-jerk fucking media propaganda that they get.
So they probably will be able to stand up some candidates prior to the election. What they're thinking is that potentially what's going to happen is the Libs will get a majority of some description, and then they might have to do they might get enough votes, and they'll have to do a coalition potentially with One Nation, and
Liberal One Nation coalition. Oh yeah, just sacrifice me now to the gods.
Yeah,
just go ahead, put me on the pillar. Rip out my heart, sacrifice me to Poseidon. Let's just get it over and fucking done with. I haven't got the strength to just Odysseus style fucking muddle my way through the next 10 fucking years of this. Just put me out of my fucking misery, Poseidon. Let's fucking go.
Just move to Queensland where everything's sunny and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, there's no One Nation people in fucking Queensland. Get out of my fucking country. Fuck off with 4.
Can we talk about just how crazy this leadership spill went down?
Yeah,
because I think as well as all the previous context of why the party's falling apart's one thing, but just how in the space of in 1 week there was already reporting flying around of people want to go and tell Jacinda Allen to resign, and media asked Ben Carroll are you planning to go for the leadership, and he said no, I am definitely not. I want to serve
Am I a
Jacinda
boy?
Allen,
not I, Ben Carroll.
And then reporting hit that they did. A bunch of MPs have gone to Jacinda Allen and said, we want you to resign. And she said no. And you're like, okay. And then
whenever you're caught in that news cycle, whenever the story is we asked her to resign. She said, no, I'm definitely not resigning. I'm standing firm. That motherfucker, whoever the story, this is an evergreen statement. If you see that cycle, a news cycle come up anywhere, that person is mere moments away from resigning.
Yeah. And then, because Parliament needed to resume later in the week.
I deserve it. I worked hard. Well, Jacinta, you're about as popular as herpes right now. And we're going to lose everything. We're going to lose the shirts on our fucking back, Jacinta. Doesn't matter if you worked hard and earned it. It's over.
Anyway,
and then Parliament was going to resume later in the week. So they met, they had their Labor Party caucus, and there was a deadline of 12 p.m. Parliament was resuming, and they were having their big meeting, and they wanted Jacinta to resign, and she said, "All right, I'm resigning. So we need a new leader." And this kicked off a meeting where they had a deadline of 12 p.m. to pick a new leader. And oh boy, the News Live blogs that morning were insane because they always have. There's backbenchers who just live for drama.
They're just sitting there
texting their journalist buddies.
Just texting Patricia Carvelis fucking all day long.
Yeah, they just text their journalist buddies and they're like, lol, they're yelling at each other.
They could hear it. So they must have the ears pressed up against the door.
You hear the text messages fucking coming in and out from people's phones at the meeting.
Yeah, journalists were reporting, we can hear screaming going on down the halls in the Labour meeting. And that reporting was happening at 11:20 a.m.
Yeah.
So of course they're screaming at each other. They've got 40 minutes to get this shit organized.
Unbelievable.
And it eventually ended up with, they went, all right, Ben Carroll. Ben Carroll's going to be the guy. But talk about down to the wire, guys.
And they got it out. He got sworn in later that day. So it all happened pretty quickly.
Well, I thought Parliament couldn't resume without... they had to have at least come to an agreement and have a leader.
Yeah.
The officialness happened later that afternoon. But he had to go in as I'm in charge.
Just an absolute bloodbath.
Incredible.
You know what this party needs? Another middle-aged, half-conservative white guy. That's what the Labor Party needs right now. That's what the people are crying out for. A guy with a red tie who looks exactly like every other fucking cunt with a red tie we've ever seen.
I mean, are they taking a leaf out of the many leaders of the Vic Libs, fucking Matthew Guy and Guy Matthew and Brent Brenton and whatever the hell all their names were, just all the most generic white guy names.
Matthew Guy and Guy Matthews and Michael O'Brien and Brian O'Michaels.
So Ben Carroll is a member of the right fractions we mentioned earlier. And he's been in the game for a while. He
not for much longer.
Has been, he worked with Bill Shorten, as a Stephen Conroy, I want to say. Members, people that have sort of been part of the Labor movement now for years. Ben Carroll has sort of worked with them. Now, when we say he's from the Victorian right, all that means really in reality is that he's a bit more financially conservative and isn't as he's not going to be probably as hard up on the sort of social issues necessarily. But still definitely you wouldn't call him a conservative. He's still,
conservative faction of the Labor Party. So he's not insane.
It's a shade of different shade of red, so to speak, I guess.
So we've got we've actually, the chat has been kicking off. Welcome all. First one I just want to highlight, Team Keo, you look great, George. Thanks. The other one was Twin Rotors in the chat, which is just an evergreen phrase. I feel like now I could always say X has the board's full support next minute. And Ika Bitoli saying apparently it's because the Libs were going to move a no confidence motion, so they couldn't just not show up. So obviously that was part of the reason for the deadline, right? So, it's not a great sign for a government when the opposition moving a no confidence motion makes you
freak
just shit the bed.
It happened in
I'm going to tell you that we've got confidence, and the way I'm going to demonstrate that is by screaming in this boardroom until we find a new leader.
I mean, yeah, it worked in Tasmania where there was, enough of a slim majority, like the slim majority was with independents and stuff, like a coalition sort of agreement, and then that fell to pieces, and then a no confidence motion actually got up and then destroyed the whole apparatus down there.
Yeah, the whole
they had to go to an
thing,
election anyway.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like, it just takes one person to say it before you realize the whole system is just, it's like, cryptocurrency. Like, all it really needs is like one person to be like, guys, I don't think this is money, and the whole system comes crashing down.
Yeah, so I think it'll be interesting. And if they are going to kick off this Royal Commission for the construction, corruption stuff, like,
grab your popcorn.
I mean, it is really like they're just going to give the Liberals ammunition during the election campaign. Like, it's going to be, because that'll run at the same time.
Being in power too long, I think it's just like you've had like 3 terms.
I think it's enough. Yeah.
And you just get lazy. You just get fat and stupid, and you're not hungry for it anymore. And like, it's enough. People just go, all right, let's give the other mob a go. Like, you can't, they just get over it, right?
Well, and I think it's far enough along that, 12 years in power is long enough that you can't be blaming the last guy for any of your fuck-ups either, right?
Only just.
Only just. Scott Morrison did it for a long time.
Yeah.
But, like when you're in power for that long, you can't be like, oh, well, when the last party was in, the opposition was in, they fucked all this up. It's like, no, it's been 12 years.
No, I mean,
this is all you guys.
The financial situation the state is in is purely
is dire.
The foot of the people that are in charge.
Yeah,
now,
but the problem is, though, like,
when they announced all these
on,
policies,
but just let me say, though,
many years ago, right?
Like, yes, the Victorian budget is very much in the shit. Like, to the tune of billions of dollars worth of debt. I think it's the state with the most debt in the country, right? Yes, but, Victoria has invested a lot of money into these large capital works projects, which, if they come off, will provide a substantial boon to the Victorian economy over the long term. It's a distinction between OPEX. Here we go. MBA brains. Where are you, mate? Where are you? Let's get your MBAs. MBA brains. So it's a distinction between OPEX and CAPEX. Your OPEX is your operating budget, your operating expenditure. This is what paying for your regular things, business as usual stuff, day-to-day is. And then there's CAPEX, capital expenditure, the investments you make in your business, or in this case, in your state, in order to improve it over the long term.
Yeah.
People get really anxious when there's a deficit or when there's debt, in corporate settings as well. But sometimes you have to acknowledge, like, in order to fix all the level crossings in Victoria, that's going to cost a shitload of money. And, like, truthfully, it should have been done 30 fucking years ago, but it was a succession of governments over decades that basically said, nah, this is going to be someone else's problem. We'll just kick this problem down the road. That caused, because we want to make the budget look good. We just want to focus on OPEX, right? Make the budget look clean. We're delivering a surplus or not that much of a deficit, right? We're good economic managers. And so they then don't make the big CAPEX investments in the infrastructure that needs to occur in order to actually improve the state. And the thing is, when infrastructure projects work, and they do often work, even when they are white elephants, you see a massive return into the economy based on that spend over time and in terms of improved productivity. The best money you can spend in general as a government, as a state government, is to invest in your infrastructure, even if it's a bad fucking project, right? Because of the multiplier effects, right? So
I don't know.
I get
some of these are bad projects, though. Like,
I get it. I do get it. But
the Westgate Tunnel thing, like, they cancelled. This is the whole Dan Andrews, when he got in, was the whole, let's cancel East-West Link?
Yes. And then they go, well, it's not going to be the East-West Link, it's going to be the West-East Link.
And they built a tunnel, which by all accounts is not really being used. They have extended the deal to fund all this with Transurban, who now have rights to the fucking freeway tolls till God knows when. It was meant to run out.
Well, we could talk about individual projects and fuck-ups all day long, right?
But my point is that there are so many of them at the same time. I
was making my point and he cut me off.
Fight me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
How does it feel?
I bought you that router and I can switch it off.
So I've got the back door. There are so many of these projects that they have started that aren't going to pay off. Like, the suburban rail loop probably won't be finished for fucking 20 years. Well, and by that point, like...
So there's a couple of things going on there. I think, yes, these successive Labor governments have invested more into this kind of CapEx, and that's going to show returns over time. I agree with you that some of these projects are dog shit. That's kind of what happens when you spend billions and billions of dollars. And the point that you're making there is also that the return on investment on these projects is also going to have a really long lead time. So people aren't necessarily going to connect the dots that because this particular project was finished and it improved their lives in X way, that Jacinta Allen or Dan Andrews was the person who was responsible and therefore I should vote for that party. So it's a difficult balancing act when you're a political party investing in big projects because you kind of need to see the benefits soon or now in order to have the ability to then turn around to the electorate and say, this is how we improved your life materially, and so this is why you should reward us with your vote, right? Because with massive infrastructure projects, it might be years and years before you see the benefits. So,
but like, why do a suburban rail loop before a rail line to the airport, for instance, right?
Because it wasn't planned based around political benefit, right? And the line to the airport is a whole fucking other schmozzle, which we could talk about another time. But like, the point is they just planned an ambitious program of works without, and you're right, and it shouldn't be this way, but there kind of should be a consideration from the political leadership to think, well, how are we going to demonstrate what's the schedule of finished projects that land before an election that we can then turn around to the electorate and say, look at all these things that we've delivered during our term. You kind of need to almost plan things out in such a way as to be politically useful rather than maybe necessarily dropping in the order in which they should occur for logistics reasons, right? And they haven't done that well.
I take it the new, having not lived in Melbourne for 3 years now, I take it the new City Loop isn't doing that.
Well, it's fine. Like, it's, but every time, again, as George said, all these projects are 10, 20 years late. So by the time they're implemented, you don't actually see much of a benefit because everything was over capacity. So it's like now they're slightly less.
So it's like, great, I'm not getting punched in the head anymore. Like, fantastic. That's stopped. But like, things aren't great now. They've just stopped being as shitty as they were. Fantastic. Yeah. You don't feel like, you're going to reward the party in power with your vote because they just did what you thought should have been done fucking 20 years ago, right?
I mean, there are more peak hour trains, running through a loop, for instance, now because of that, great. But again, that project was delivered, a year over budget or something like that. Like it was
all of these mega projects go late and over budget. That's what a mega project is. This is in the literature, right? Like, we know that when you sign up for a $10 billion 2-year project, it's probably going to be a $15 billion 3-year project. That's just how, because there are critical path dependencies and this thing needs to happen before that thing, and Davo's got to get in there and do the electrical before I could even pour the slab. Like, there's all that sort of shit that happens that always delays these fucking projects. It's a known thing in project management. So all of that aside, I think the main problem here is that Labor has gone with a very ambitious big build program. They've spent hard on CapEx. They spent a lot of money. The state is in a lot of debt, and now they're having the buyer's remorse. And that's when you start to see these windbacks and cuts and all these sorts of things. So, and I think that's when people start to lose confidence. You go, well, you said you had this all figured out. It was an ambitious program of work. We're going into debt, but it's going to be worth it. And now all of a sudden,
there's no gains that have been realized. Yeah.
We haven't realized any gains, and you're cutting all these services because it kind of makes us feel like you don't know what the fuck you're doing now. And that's when people lose confidence. Yeah. So I think in the long run, a lot of these projects will pay off. And in history, looking back on this period historically, people go, actually, it's pretty good that we did that because that solved XYZ problems. The problem is that the electorate is not connecting that with material benefit in their lives and relief of cost of living pressures, and the stuff that's of concern today is not being linked back to the successful outcome of those projects because many of them are still in train. So
the other thing is that Labor government, I would say, Victoria has been primarily city focused. The spending in the outer regions has been not as much, right? And I think the Liberal Party in particular, together with the Nationals, are probably going to, one of their things is, I think to cut back a little bit after Ben Carroll got in, they were talking about Jess Wilson and what she was going to do. and they got James, who's the senator from Victoria, James.
The Liberal senator, the one who looks like a Hitler Youth.
Yes, that guy. You don't even know. You know what I'm talking about.
James Patterson.
James Patterson. They got him on there because he's like they all know each other,
James
right?
Patterson.
Yeah, it is James Patterson. They all know each other. And
No, James Patterson's the author. It's James. It's something like that.
Aren't they
pretty
both?
sure it's
I thought
Patterson.
they both got the same name.
Or maybe I'm misremembering.
Pretty sure it's James Patterson. Anyway,
Oh,
the
it is
point
James
being
Patterson. It's different spelling of Patterson. I was right. There you go.
So he got on and was basically fielding questions in 7:30 with what's her name, Sarah Ferguson. I can't remember. I always get those two confused.
Sarah Ferguson is the journalist, right?
Yes. And so his main, because they always, they wind in their political speech through the interview. His main focus was targeting people from regions. Oh, well, Victoria's still got potholes everywhere, the roads, no one's getting a fair go in the country, So I think that's another thing, is that there is and I think that's a good strategy politically, because there is a misalignment and perhaps a general resentment towards Victorian Labor, I think, for some people in regional and rural communities in Victoria, because, all the money has been spent in and around Melbourne, and, there's still V-line trains, V-line services out west that are trying to connect, what are effectively outer suburbs now, and they haven't, there's just not, they haven't really brought the people with them for some of these things, and they've spent money in areas that aren't really going to pay off in the long term in terms of voter buy-in.
The thing is, though, a lot of the union power base and the unions and tradies and the people who benefit the most out of these projects are Labor, and those people vote. They're voters. So I don't know that, how many of those people, what's more important to you, your job on the big build or your racism?
That's a good point.
or your hate personally of Jacinta Allen, right? I think there's a real... part of it is kind of pork barreling to a certain extent. If you have a big union power base and you're doing all these big infrastructure projects and feeding your own base, and part of that is corruption and part of that is just normal, here's some work, I think I wonder to the extent that how many of those people will turn away. So to Ika Batoli's point in the chat, you saw it with Kennett and then Baillieu, so Ted Baillieu, Dennis, I think it was Dennis Napthine. Yeah. It'll go Lib for one term and then swing back for another 3 to 4 Labor terms. I think that's probably right, because Labor as a state is fairly left, but there does come a point in any sort of two-party system where the parties have to switch hands. The party in power...
You got to give the other guys a go. You got to give the other guys a go.
Because the party in power gets bloated and lazy and corrupt, and
this is how you get autocracy in other countries, right? You got to mix it up.
Almost like how you get a dictator, a dictator Dan, if you will.
Yes, very good. Twin Road is in the chat saying on our discussion about OPEX or CAPEX, is the reflecting pool OPEX or CAPEX? It's both. Twin Roaders. The original project to restore it was CAPEX, and the endeavor to repair the rubber that was apparently slashed with a knife, according to Donald Trump, for over 200 feet, repairing that would be CAPEX. That'd be out of your daily operating expenses. There you go.
So anyway, we've talked about this for half an hour.
I don't. Anyway, it's not important which account number it goes under. So,
but yeah, as we said, Pauline Hanson is, she's polling. She's polling well, despite the fact that One Nation haven't got a massive presence in Victoria. But this comes amongst in the background. Pauline Hanson has been fighting an appeal against a racial discrimination judgment that was handed down to her in 2024, or at least, it was handed down in 2024.
Yeah.
About a post she made in 2022. So interesting. This is still going on.
Yep, the fast arm of the law.
Yes, quick judgment is a good judgment. I did just sort of forgotten about this. I thought it was a bit of a storm in a teacup, but I guess, I don't know, maybe this is good timing. I don't know. But basically in 2022, the day that Queen Elizabeth died, another senator, a federal senator, Senator Faruqi, made a post on X, basically I mean, we've got the actual quote down here somewhere.
Said that she, quote, cannot mourn the leader of a racist empire built on stolen lives, land, and wealth of colonized people, which, you know what?
Fair.
Based.
Yep, fair.
So Hanson replied to that.
I probably wouldn't have posted about it, but like, yeah, that's kind of my thought. Like, she seemed like a nice lady. I watched a couple of seasons of The Crown. She seemed all right. I mean, she didn't seem, actually, on reflection, she seemed like quite a cold fish and maybe not too nice to her own family now that I think about it. But, like, people loved her and I can appreciate that. I didn't feel particularly upset when she died. Seemed like she had a good innings, but I probably wouldn't have taken to X to to post about it, but there you go.
Anyway, Senator Hanson, it started a bit of a Twitter back and forth. But anyway, Hanson replied and made some big swings, as it were. But basically, the key line in her response was that she told her to piss off back to Pakistan. The main line in this, which Senator Faruqi then took Pauline Hanson to court and sued her for 18C.
No.
It was a breach of 18C.
Yes, so that's what Pauline Hanson was appealing, was that, she was found to have breached 18C of the Racial Discrimination Act.
Tony Abbott, eat your heart out. That was their favourite C, was 18C.
Yeah, they bloody loved 18C way back in the day. It was found, she was found, to have breached 18C, I believe
of
on the
Racial
grounds,
Discrimination Act.
I believe on the grounds that the tweet targeted immigrants, people of colour, and Muslims. Just a quote here from the appeals court saying that the primary judgment identified the groups with clarity. It identified the correct test, and then applies a coherent analysis as to why the primary judge was satisfied that a relevant portion of the identified groups have been offended, insulted, humiliated, and intimidated by.
Guys, she said piss off back to Pakistan. It's not that deep. Like, it's obviously racist.
That's why I agree with Adam.
We've scoured the logs, and what we've done is satisfied the test. We answered these questions 3, and it's like, it's not that. Why did this take 2 years? It's obviously a fucking racist thing that she did. The end. George, fucking... Let's go to Claude for judgment. Hey, Claude, was this fucking racist? It appears like it might be racist. It's not racist. It's really racist. Yeah, thanks, Claude. Judgment rendered. The end.
Yeah, no, I believe Claude would say, you're right to push back on this tweet.
You're absolutely right to think that. And my assumption was faulty.
That's why I agree with Adam, as you mentioned before. Like, I forgot that this was happening. It's like, you forget that this was happening because it's such a kind of like analysis on what happened. That you're like,
I just love it that
they were
it happened in
appealing
2022. She had judgment given in 2024, and now the appeal to the federal court has just been handed down in 2026, and now she wants to go to the High Court.
Yeah.
Which
this
is what,
the
constitutional law? Like, what's she going to argue? Right? I guess she's arguing right to free speech or something. I think is what she's arguing. Actually,
or like, is it parliamentary privilege or something? Like, even though, it's kind of trying to extend that parliamentary privilege thing outside of the parliament.
She gets away. She's gotten away on a few things with parliamentary privilege. She claims out on a lot. Like, for instance, when
parliamentary
her son,
privilege extends to shit posts on X.
When her son was found to have made, I don't know exactly the details of the case, but there's some domestic violence allegations, or, he might have been found guilty. I'm not sure. But anyway, she used parliamentary privilege to basically get up and shit talk the whole situation in front of the country. No one could do anything about it because
if you're doing it in Parliament, that's what parliamentary privilege is. But just firing off shit posts from the toilet doesn't. You don't have parliamentary privilege there, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I thought it's about. Yeah, again, not a constitutional lawyer, but I thought it was about what you say on the floor of Parliament in your in rebutting people and stuff to stop them being as afraid to be able to essentially sledge each other and say what they really think. But it doesn't mean that in the street you could just hold up a megaphone and just be like, Senator blah blah blah's a cunt, and be like, parliamentary privilege.
Yeah, what a filthy fucking eye tie this guy is. Parliamentary privilege, brother. And just put your hands. I've got diplomatic immunity.
Can't touch me.
Is this the racist version of The Castle? is Pauline
Maybe.
Hanson's march to the High Court to get her fucking compulsory acquisition of speech notice overturned.
Yeah, if she wins, she's going to post that piss off back to Pakistan tweet straight in the pool room.
Yeah, straight. I think she's going up on the. Oh, tell him he's dreaming.
She's actually. I think that what she's pushing here, the line is around free speech.
Yes,
I think is the concept. So not so much parliamentary privilege, but that she's allowed to say her feelings because it's a free country.
Pauline,
and she's got a campaign on that, right?
You are fucking spreading your feelings ad fucking nauseum, Pauline. No one is stopping you from releasing your racist diatribes all over the fucking internet. We're being swamped by Asians. We're being swamped by Muslims. All the fucking vitriol, whipping off a burqa twice in Parliament. Okay? No one's stopping you from being as racist as you fucking want, Pauline. You just, as my father said, you don't put it in writing.
That's all right. So,
and my boy, one thing you never do, you never fucking put it in writing. Thanks, Dad. I'm 12.
It's just young George with the milkshakes. Like,
put what in writing, sir?
But don't worry, other people are putting it in writing for her. We don't really know the sources. We don't know the background, but it's popped up on Reddit. You found, Miss George, a little pamphlet of Pauline Hanson quotes is being handed out at Melbourne train stations.
Yeah, so this
Seems
is
quite organised. The poster was saying it's being handed out at about 80 Melbourne train stations.
Yeah, so clearly some sort of organised effort to, I would say smear Pauline, but is it smearing when you're just writing down the things that she has said and then putting it into a pamphlet and handing it out to people? So clearly, presumably organised by Get Up or some sort of political
I was going to say,
action
I'm
group,
waiting
right?
for Get Up to say,
where's the BTS?
Just like that amazing print that scrolled down behind her. It was
at the press club. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So presumably it's some sort of organised effort against her. But again, these are just things that Pauline Hanson has said. So, we'll post the link in the show notes. But yeah, it's literally just quotes from Pauline Hanson.
Yeah, got any good ones here? Let's have a look at some of the.
Good in the sense that they're terrible. I mean, we must be monocultural, right? From that press club address that we just mentioned. I believe we're in danger of being swamped by Asians. We're in danger of being swamped by Muslims. Exactly 20 years apart.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like literally, almost
20 years plus minus 4 days.
And they were
apart.
And I believe they were both her maiden
head speeches,
right?
That's
so
why,
the 1996 one was when she was very first elected. Then she was gone for a bit.
Well, what worked?
Then 2016.
What else? What worked last time?
Her first speech back into Parliament after a long time away. Yeah, again the swamped terminology. Crazy.
So
I think
to Sherry Markson on Sky News,
yeah.
How can you tell me there are good Muslims? How about the guy that stopped the Bondi shooters? That guy seemed like a pretty good Muslim to me, but all right, that's fine. Quote, I have no intention of selling my home to a Muslim. This one is just disgusting.
These feel like clickhole headlines with unprompted. Should be just tagged on after them. I have no intention of selling my home to a Muslim. Unprompted. Pauline Hanson. Jesus Christ.
So there's a huge amount coming into Australia who have diseases. They've got AIDS, referring to South African immigrants, are of no benefit to this country whatsoever. They'll never be able to work. And what my main concern is the diseases that they bring in. This is from a tradition, a long, ugly, fucking gross tradition of, otherizing people of color.
Xenophobia.
It's just straight up racism. Making it seem as though people who are from other countries are dirty, are dumb, are lazy, are diseased. It's literally exterminationist fucking rhetoric that the Nazis used about the Jews. This is literally it. It's not that deep. It's pure fucking vitriol and racism. That's it. That's all there is to it. There's nothing else going on behind the eyes there. It's one layer deep. You know how neural networks, multiple layers? Pauline Hanson has one layer and it's rank racism. That's it. That's the only layer in the network.
No, don't worry. She's also an economic mastermind, George.
Yeah. I'm sure the chip shop lady's going to fucking figure it out.
Lower class Australians, okay. The ones who are not on high wages, they have tax benefit cuts A and B. They have healthcare. They have prescriptions. They have rental assistance. They have plus. it says on the guess from the
Double
Kenny
plus good.
report on from 2024.
They have tax cuts A and B, she says, because she can't fucking name any of them because she has no fucking clue about the policy about which she is making assertions. Islam is a disease. We need to vaccinate ourselves against that, she says on 7 News.
That's
a fucking banger, isn't it, Pauline?
Yeah.
So you do believe in some kind of vaccinations, don't you, Pauline?
I believe Michael Hing had a fantastic joke about that where he said, I think it's interesting that she used the term vaccinate then because to vaccinate yourself against something, you got to let a little bit of it in.
You got to expose yourself to just a little tiny piece of
Yeah,
it.
I was like, yep, good point, Michael.
Lots of lovely things to say about Donald Trump. That she likes his policies. She likes the Iran war. Likes Vladimir Putin. Has obviously consistently voted against raising the minimum wage, and wants to remove penalty rates. And I mean, the woman is just an absolute bag of trash, and as aptly exemplified in this book of quotes. So whoever's behind this, you're doing God's work. Very good. All you need to do to dispel this fucking Pauline Hanson is a wise mage sitting reclusive on a mountain like some sort of wizened hermit that has unlocked the key to political advantage. All you need to do to dispel that myth is just tell people the things that she believes, which are fucking racist and batshit. That's all you need to do is just tell them what she says.
Well, unless it's what she says that appeals to you, which is the concern.
Well, I think people they hear one thing, they'll hear it on 7 News, and they go, oh, yeah, fucking Labor is fucking corrupted shit. Yeah, let's give this fucking Pauline a go. It's like, do you actually know anything about who she is, what she stands for, or is she just, to our point earlier, talking about Labor and that whole election dynamic, just, let's give her a go.
Yeah,
she can't be worse. They're Labor and Liberal, they're both fucking... My dad would say this sort of stuff all the time. Oh, they're both corrupt. Now... Thankfully, my dad was never stupid enough to vote for One Nation or to even be inclined to, even when he was addled with, even though he was addled with brain cancer, he was never fucking dumb enough to vote for Pauline Hanson. So that should tell you something. I think his last vote was for Dan Andrews, if I recall correctly, which as a lifelong Liberal, I was very impressed by. Might have been the brain cancer. But in any case, I was like, Dad, are you sure, Dan Andrews? He's like, the Liberals are just, this... I think it was Matthew Guy, that election. He goes, Matthew Guy is just a fucking nothing. I was like, you're right. He is. He is a nothing. That is technically correct. But I think a lot of people just go on vibes. And Pauline Hanson, she tells it like it is. She's for the battlers. And it's like, right, what are her positions on battlers? She's fucking woeful for actual battlers, okay? So pull your fucking thumb out, do a Google. If you're actually going to vote for this fucking nightmare, this absolute nightmare fuel, carrot top, fucking half moron, she's an idiot. I think people seem very afraid to say for some reason that Pauline Hanson is just really fucking dumb. It's not only is she a bad person that has bad policies that are motivated by animus and hatred, she's just a fucking idiot. She's just a dumb fucking person. And for that reason alone, because she is completely inept, you should not vote for her. But if you are intending on voting for Pauline Hanson, and may God have mercy on your soul if ever it is discovered, you should at least Google what she says and the things that she believes in and the things that she would enact if she was actually elevated to power, because they will affect your life. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So you took those analytics you were telling us about earlier today where our subscriber count goes up whenever we have something aggressively charged to say about a political figure to heart. Did you write that before today?
That was not an affectation. That was genuine and that was from the heart. I genuinely think Pauline Hanson is a fucking moron. So it's got nothing to do with how much our content slaps on social media when we shit on politicians.
There are anecdotes, around federal parliament, as far as I'm aware, to certain other, along those lines, basically. But moving from Australia, while this is all happening and we're arguing over debt and politicians and immigrants and God knows what else, tech companies in Silicon Valley and other around the world are still trying to destroy us. And more more
They're
has
not
come
trying
out.
to. It's just a fun byproduct.
It's just a fun byproduct of it.
gotta return
Delivering
value to the investors,
shareholder
Adam.
value. Yeah.
We need to return value to the investors at any cost.
So yeah, we talked about last week.
You can't be trusted to write your own emails, you fucking idiot. You got to let us do it.
OpenAI is, one of their tests basically got out. AI got out, went rogue, and hacked another company.
Hugging Face.
Hugging Face. So a bit more information has come out about that now. So apparently, and this is the bit that got me, was that Hugging Face wasn't the only target. There were others which have not been,
victim is probably a more accurate word to use there than target, because target suggests, a forethought, an agency, which obviously you don't have when an agentic system is executing an attack on your behalf without your knowledge.
But yeah, they haven't disclosed these other entities yet that were affected. That's the first thing. So it wasn't just Hugging Face. The second thing is there was some Hugging Face basically held sort of like a round table discussion around sort of how the attack unfolded and what their learnings were from it, basically.
Yeah, we'll take some publicity. Thanks.
Yeah, literally.
We've also got a webinar coming up. Sign up, guys.
Interesting note from it was that there was a lot of there was some stuff that was handled really cleverly. It was, attacked on a wide front. There were lots of things happening at once. It was very hard for them to deal with. But what interesting...
The ChatGPT agent was like moving laterally through their systems. It wasn't just like focused on one particular area. It was sort of moving through their entire ecosystem. So yeah, it sounds like it would have been a nightmare to try and deal with.
Scary. And I think from our reporting initially, they ended up using another AI tool to...
Yeah, it was. I think it was the GLM 5.2. I think it was an open Chinese model.
But yeah, and then they also talked about sort of the time frame they were talking about. So it sounded like they've used the word hours in this article. So it wasn't a quick 20-minute thing. It wasn't a several day thing.
It was sustained.
Hours. Yeah, it was a day long. Would have been like a really fun day at work for those people involved.
And it's always at 4:59 on a Friday, isn't it? When these sorts of things happen, you're just about to sign off, and you just go, "All right, guys, see you later. It's been a big week. Oh, we're being attacked by OpenAI. All right. No, I'm not coming in for dinner. I'll get some takeaway."
But the other thing I found interesting from the reporting was that there was a lot of stuff it did that was not very clever. So just like any LLM, they found evidence of it like hallucinating and like prompting things, but trying to get in and do things, but like not quite working. The commands wouldn't work, and then it would like not cover its tracks, kind of thing. It would just like leave all these like logs and files around.
It just sounds like a drunk baby just stumbling in through the, like that's what it's. Yeah, I'll tell you guys, what, you got some logs in here? Just like rifling through your shit. Yeah, I'll clean up after. Just like
it's a moose. Out. It's a moose that's escaped into a house.
It's a horse.
It's just
in the hospital.
The bull in the china shop. I'm in here and I'm just going crazy. It's like AI agents. They're just like us. They're clumsy and lazy.
So that was a reporting I found interesting. What anything you found, Tom, that sort of pickled your brain?
I think that's definitely what I was going to highlight as well, because you always see, in my experience, whenever I've worked with those kind of like agentic workflows, is you see the wall of text that they're showing you to exemplify its reasoning that's happening faster than you can possibly read. So I'm like, why are you even showing me this? Like, it just scrolls through in my chat so fast that I'm like, this is hardly transparent at all. I can't see what it's thinking fast enough. But part of that process is it also creates all these files of being like, okay, great, well, I'll create a temp thing where I like copy that into there, and then I'll work through it and like I'll edit it a little bit. So it's in the temp bit. So I'm not fucking with the actual production stuff or whatever. I'm just like looking through it all here. So the fact that it just then left all that, in the moment, the hours for the technicians to be freaking out that they're being hacked. Yeah, terrifying. But then for you to be able to then just go through and like see all the files which are written like, if you ever look at these sorts of things, they always look like the kind of stuff we joke about with AIs all the time, right? Like it said, oh, hang on, but my first assumption wasn't right. This is going to have to be, like, that is now defunct. I was wrong there earlier, but I was right to push back on that. And all this sycophantic bullshit written in there of how it was trying to breach your system is very funny.
I was interested that it took 3 days for OpenAI's agent to be discovered inside the Hugging Face network.
Yeah.
So it had been in there for some time before they even found it.
Yeah.
And then it was after that point that they took, several hours, or many hours was the quote from the article, right?
Was it? Oh, see, I saw that the other way around, that I thought Hugging Face were pretty aware they were being attacked immediately, but it took like 4 days for OpenAI to realize it was them.
OpenAI knew that it had attacked some, like.
Also, are you just
someone.
letting this prompt run over the weekend? Like, aren't you monitoring what it's like? If you're running a test, you just go, all right, and no guardrails, and fucking do whatever you can to get this test. All right, I'm on annual leave, guys. See you next. Hope nothing fucking weird happens.
There's two aspects to this, Tom. So one is that OpenAI didn't realize this had happened for 4 days.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, yeah, as George said, see you later. The second one was Hugging Face's reality, the other side of it, which was, they obviously
hadn't discovered it for 3 days. That's what I understood.
And then they dealt with it over the course of hours.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. I got the timeline mixed up.
But like, again, the way it got out by using I think it was a 0-day exploit.
Yep.
That's because that's the thing I was wondering. I was like, how could it break containment? Like, how could you do that? It was a 0-day exploit. It found its way out of the network. Like, this is the kind of stuff they write the horror movies about. Like, this is the Matrix. Anyway.
But, like, surely your sandbox protocol should be air-gapped from... Anyway, but we talked about it last week. But yes, go on.
Well, not air-gapped enough, right? And so this happened. Hugging Face they've been leading conversations, and OpenAI have been eating humble shit, I guess, over it while their stock price continually gets pumped. I don't know. Has their stock price gone up? I don't know. That's a good question.
OpenAI is not.
They're not public. They're not public, are they? No, they're not.
No. I thought you were saying by a non-profit. So
sorry.
I thought it was Hugging Face's stock price you were asking.
Oh, Hugging Face.
No, I was talking about OpenAI, but Hugging Faces may also.
Because I mean, Hugging Face should be laughing. They're like, what? You mean the super powerful AI that breached its own containment considered us the best repository to go after for all this information? Well, if that doesn't mean that we're the company you should be approaching.
Yeah.
No, Hugging Face is not publicly traded either, but look out for the IPO.
Yeah, I just feel like this is all
international earned media branding.
Yeah, it's just all news that pumps up people's interest in this thing. But
this is all one big IPO circle jerk.
Yeah, I heard a term today which I'd never heard before, which like encapsulates this all perfectly. Is crit hype. So it's like you're criticizing something, but by criticizing it, you're hyping it up. You're like what we've talked about.
No such thing as bad publicity.
Oh no! Not only did our, this, and this is the thrust of this article, which we've been trying to get to, is that it turns out OpenAI's, this rogue behavior actually affected other companies as well. We sort of touched on that briefly. We don't know who they are, right? And so there's this like flurry of stories like, oh, our product is so incredibly advanced and dangerous that, like, it's so fucking dangerous, but like that's why you should invest in us, or like we're about to IPO next year or whatever it is. Like, that's how like crazy advanced our technology is. It's so dangerous, and so people will criticize it. That's where the crit hype comes in. But by criticizing it, you're furthering that narrative that their technology is so powerful, which then feeds into their sort of marketing narrative. I thought it was an interesting way of sort of summarizing that dynamic, right?
I think that's exactly what's happening with the AI bubble to a certain extent, right? Like at the moment, anyway. So anyway, this has been happening on one side of it, and then a couple of days, like 4 or 5 days after, OpenAI released this story, or sort of
not to be outdone,
owned up to it. Anthropic sort of went, we better go back and look at some of those tests we've been running. Just double check just to make sure our house is in order. Let's just go back and we'll just do a bit of a check.
We don't want to look like those idiots.
Yeah, those guys, they're not very good because turns out Anthropic have been doing the same sort of tests.
Guys, our models are crazy dangerous as well. We're IPOing this year, okay? So you want to... Well, we got the fucking... You thought that was crazy, bro? We hacked like 4 companies, bro. It was fucking crazy, bro.
And that's it.
3. Sorry, 3. So only 3. So they did 1, we did 3. And then OpenAI comes back like, actually, we've hacked 4. No, well, I hacked 12. It's like, you're not supposed to be proud of this, guys.
Yeah, this is bad, what you've done.
So yeah, Anthropic were looking through their records and realised that so far they found that one test they ran, they were using a third-party provider apparently, and the configuration of their like sandbox wasn't set up properly. And so, yeah, this test they ran, they hacked a bunch of companies, undisclosed companies at this stage.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, as all these things kind of go, like, Anthropic didn't name the 3 companies, but had said that in this article from the ABC, quote, had been in contact with 2 of them and was working with them to patch their systems. So it's like, yeah, that's always how this sort of works, right? It's like how when hackers breach
Hey, don't ask me how I know, but here's a PR for your internal security systems.
Yeah.
Here's a pull request. Here's a little fix update for you. Don't ask me how I know, but you need this fix.
But it's the kind of thing that, like, hackers do all the time of like, oh, I've breached blah, blah, blah. I'll let them know of the exploit that I have just found and maybe be like, hey, give me a job.
Well, I mean, that is a thing. So there's like black hat hackers and white hat hackers. And the whole idea of like these white hat hackers is they'll exploit, they'll find 0 days and then turn around and like sell them to the company or like, use that as a basis for trading into a job with said company in cybersecurity. Like that is a thing that happens.
Actually.
But...
Totally.
Yeah, I don't think that was Anthropic's objective here. I think they were more doing a bit of PR cleanup more than anything else.
Like our model is equally as dangerous. Totally not in the rundown, but I did see an instance of a white hat hacker recently announcing that the application pandered by the Pope called Click to Prayer or something like that, like a prayer app, had woeful cybersecurity in it.
Was it vibe coded? Is that why?
No, I don't believe it was vibe coded. At least I'm not sure.
It was God coded. Okay.
The problem.
I didn't. God was holding my hand. I was just the vessel. He was coding through me.
Yeah,
okay.
It was even better than that. The problem was that user data wasn't like. No authentication was kind of really required to retrieve user data, and they assigned
no two-factor. You can read people's prayers.
Like they assigned people's user data and their user profile, like the identifiers used were just sequential and numeric. So the very first user was user hackable. 1, user 2, user 3, user 4. So if you knew the get endpoint on their API to get user data and said, give me user 12, you got user 12.
Okay, but what's 13, in there? Like, what does 14. Click to Prayer do? Are you
their
entering
email,
your prayers in
their
there?
address,
Oh my God.
it's all that sort of stuff. And this hacker found it and was like, in January of this year, told the Vatican and the company that built the app, heard crickets for like 7 months.
They didn't they're like, I don't know, we just hired some guy to do this. We don't know. We are a 2,000-year-old institution. We have no idea what we're talking. What are you talking about? We speak Latin all day. What are you even talking about?
And they just did nothing about it for 7 months, and then this hacker put up a pretty funny, actually, blog post, like roasting fucking their code and making Bible jokes and stuff. And then, suddenly the API is no longer giving out the good stuff. Suddenly they fixed it.
New pull request from John the Baptist.
I mean, it's the Italians. Like they're just sitting there. Eating there, whatever they do in Italy.
That's a timely response in 7 months.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, in Italy, you come, you eat, you have. So it's not time for a hacks. It's time for a beach. We come back in December or January, February. We come back later. It's not time for this now. It's beach time. It's August.
But this guy was like, "Yeah, like, he obviously could have done whatever he wanted with the user data he was getting, but he was like, no, I'm not a piece of shit. I'm not going to fish all these people. But, like, you get all the emails of people on Click to Prayer. They're clearly all old people who, if you send them an email saying you are the Pope, they're going to click it.
I just love the idea of just, like, responding to people's prayers as though you are God.
As the, like, what's that Bruce Almighty is that movie?
Yeah,
He's like puts it all in an email anyway.
Oh, he's got the inbox. Yeah.
Hey guys, this is God here. Obviously can't do anything on the bike, but on the puppy, there's a local shelter nearby. You guys could just adopt a puppy for free. I don't know if they've got, like a Westie specifically, but just so you know, like, you actually don't need an act of God to get a dog. Anyway, peace out, God.
Yeah. But anyway, I imagine Anthropic is... Are they charging these other companies for, like, the dev work that is involved to teach them how to patch it? I think it would be
gratis. I think it would have to be gratis. Hey, neither here nor there.
You'd hope so.
Here's some free dev work because of the massive legal liability that we've created for ourselves.
Yeah, like I was talking about last week. Whether intentionally or not, they hacked businesses. Like...
Yeah. I mean, it would be balls to shoot off an invoice after that.
Well, no, but I mean...
So it was like 35 hours. We had a project manager with that's going to be like 60 grand for us to fix the problem that we caused.
But just where's the punishment for this? If I did this, I'd be in mega prison.
Yeah.
It's weird that, the lawsuits...
Yeah,
like,
you'd be in Magneto prison if you did this. Yeah.
The lawsuits, have been very soft in the sense that there have been none thus far.
Well, I don't think anyone wants to get offside with either of these two AI giants, right? Because they have massive resources they could bring to bear and ruin your life if they really wanted to. But,
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the damages are that, like, they've got in and they've taken some information, but nothing has been done with that information, right? Or they've patched it up and they've made amends.
Well, wait till, OpenAI drops another blog post in 4 days that says actually... there's another fucking crazy thing the agent did is it went on fucking MySpace and posted it everywhere. Like, how do you know?
Yeah. It's just going to be like, we developed Fable 6 and it had an affair with your wife. And you'll be like, damn it.
I had sex with my whole family.
So the Anthropic was saying that, that basically the OpenAI incident made them go back through their 140,000 cybersecurity evaluation tests. They have done at least 140,000.
Go through their 140,000 cybersecurity evaluations. They're not saying, number one, number two. No, they're just like, hey, Claude, did we fuck anything up at any point? Take all the time you need. Accuracy is more important than speed.
So, I mean, and again, this wasn't Anthropic's AI, like, it wasn't their AI finding a vulnerability and exploiting and doing something weird. It was just someone left the back door open and the AI was like, I guess I'll just walk out this way. Is that cool? And in one case, in one of the three cases, the AI was like, I'm not meant to be doing this.
I'm a bit of a saucy boy, aren't I?
I'm going to stop.
I'm a bit naughty, aren't I?
I think we've talked about it before. Somehow Anthropic's models know when they're being evaluated and they are on their best behavior.
Yeah, that's a bit creepy.
Which is terrifying.
But it's like, of the three, one of them was like, I shouldn't be touching this. I'm going to stop. The other two were like, naughty. Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Claude. Yeah, so there's the guardrail Claude and then there's raw dog Claude. Fucking put me in, coach.
Yeah.
Anyway, our final story this week is
Speaking
about
of raw dog.
Raw dogging. We haven't even said what it is yet.
Incredible. Crazy work, Tom.
The New South Wales Greens politician Abigail Boyd has used parliamentary powers to obtain documents detailing serious food safety breaches. So Four Corners has been doing a bit of hard work here, looking at basically New South Wales, food safety, more or less. And
or lack thereof, by the sounds of it.
or lack thereof. So Abigail Boyd used her powers to basically get a bunch of documents from the New South Wales Food Authority. Who are the New South Wales Food Authority? They're the people that basically manage the licenses for any sort of large scale catering, primary production, food production, basically.
They're doing inspections and testing and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. So it's not like, they're not licensing cafes, for instance, but they would be like, allowing, a catering company, a large catering company serving, aged care homes to be able to operate.
Yeah. And like
anytime it looks less like a restaurant and more like a production facility, then these guys would be involved,
correct.
Right?
Yeah, factories, that kind of thing, right? And what she has found is not good.
Not good.
Yeah, she can't. She's
able
to look at
specific farms or catering companies or whatever. Just the things she's seen. It's like, correct. And there's some terrifying allegations in here, such as, I don't know, metal shavings in your bread.
Yeah.
Which bread, you might ask?
Reported
Can't
instances.
tell you.
Yeah. I would be curious.
Yeah. Can't tell you which bread is also a shrapnel surprise, but apparently it's out there.
Now with extra iron.
So the quote is, there were metal shavings found
Sorry. Now with extra iron.
Yeah. We got
iron shavings.
Yeah.
That joke did not get the due it deserved.
Sorry.
That was off the cuff.
Yeah.
I don't even get it.
Metal shavings.
Iron is a metal, Adam.
Yeah.
Is there a joke there, or are you just saying that a metal is a metal?
No, because of the breads, when they say now with it's got extra fucking protein in the bread, now it's got iron, it's got...
Yeah.
Am I the only one who knows about the different breads? They're trying to add all these vitamins and minerals to the breads?
Yeah, okay.
Am I crazy?
George, I think we have two scenarios here. Adam didn't get it. I got it. I just didn't laugh as much as you would like.
Fuck you guys. That was fucking excellent. That did not get its due.
The quote is from Abigail Boyd. There were metal shavings found in bread products that were supposed to be dairy-free, that were not dairy-free, which were only caught by accident because somebody happened to put it together after their child got sick or they themselves got sick, not because the company had worked it out. So
yeah, my nephew's got a dairy allergy. Like if he'd had that, he would have died. Like that's just as simple as that. You can't have allergens in products that say they don't have allergens. Yeah. That's kind of the whole thing of what food safety is and is supposed to be about.
Yeah, it's kind of a big fuck. It's one thing for a foreign contaminant. It's another for the whole purpose of your product is to not have something in it that it now has it in it.
Yeah.
So the New South Wales Food Authority directly regulates 14,500 licensed food businesses and facilities. Now that includes meat and dairy processors, eggs, seafood businesses, food services and hospitals and aged care homes. The thing that got me was every time there is a breach, they issue a notice to say you've had a breach, and they give them a $330 fine.
Yeah,
sorry, it's now increased to $565.
Oh, well, problem solved.
That's... You sure there's not a little K on the end there?
Yeah, 500,000 or no, just $500.
Because these aren't
wow,
mum and pop shops. These are massive, multi-million-dollar businesses, right?
Well, yeah, maybe not multi-million-dollar, but they're not the fish and chip shop.
They're food production. They're not Pauline Hanson's fish and chips.
Yeah,
it's a real business.
Businesses of the size where $500 is chump change.
Meaningless.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so how many kids did we kill this month? All right, so that's 14, so that's 2,800. All right, great.
Did they all happen?
Send out the checks.
Yeah, did all those kids die, but in what would be considered a single incident, therefore a single fine?
I mean, really, let's be reasonable, guys.
How many breaches was it?
I'd like to find out. It's one fine per breach. And I'm wondering,
okay.
So more than 100 businesses received multiple improvement notices for repeated food safety breaches.
Right, because I'd wonder if each breach is each provable, if 100 people have all said they found metal in their bread,
so is that 100 times
100 times the $500 fine?
Correct.
Then
that's how
that makes a little more sense. But if it's just holy shit, your entire batch of bread was full of iron. That's
It's
only
still not that much money.
$500, please. Like, yeah, that's pathetic.
It's still not a crazy amount of money. Like, that's a line item on the budget. You go, that time we poisoned those kids, that's $50,000. You're
Also,
like, you know,
as well as fucking up the dairy-free stuff and having metal shavings and stuff, there was also instances of mouse fur and horse in the beef.
Well, there was
nibs.
alleged horse, but it wasn't actually proven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alleged horse is also the name of my sex tape.
Yeah, do not look an alleged horse in the mouth.
So when this article came out that we're quoting off, which is from the ABC, I think the headline was "Horse meat found in, mincemeat or some shit or whatever it was." But then there was a correction issued a few days later where the New South Wales Food Authority was like, no. There is definitely no evidence to suggest that. But
no confirmed horse, but also they're not testing for horse.
Yes.
So, I don't know how you can confirm that there was no horse if you're not testing for horse because you're not testing for species, right?
So these are some of the examples that have been that are available publicly. So some of this information is available publicly, and this is sort of what the ABC has found. And despite all this, by the way, which we're about to explain, despite overseeing some of the state's higher-risk food operations, the authority has not cancelled one business's licence over the last 7 years.
Which kind of makes it feel like it's not really doing
It's like the thing
anything?
in The Big Short. They're just like, we're going to give you the credit rating.
This is, it's literally like, Moody's in 2007 just be like, well, if I don't give them the ratings, they're just going to take their business elsewhere. It's like, well, then what is the point of the ratings agency?
So,
they had a couple of metal shavings. Once I saw a scimitar and a pack of beef, but what am I going to do? I'm just one man. I'm just a simple country lawyer.
So there's a few examples with aged care homes, which are pretty...
they're basically dead anyway. Fuck them.
Catering company Catercare, which provides 10 million meals a year to health and aged care sector, received 9 improvement notices across New South Wales facilities between 2023 and 2026. Inspectors identified breaches including poor hygiene, inadequate safety records, expired food, poor monitoring records, and poor labelling of food. So they're giving out millions of meals, and there's like multiple breaches we're talking
But it's fine. It's only to those most vulnerable.
It's okay.
But also 9 breaches, $300 a pop.
Yeah.
Not much, is it?
Devastating to the bottom line.
We're not punishing them that much allegations.
Catholic Healthcare received improvement notices at 3 separate facilities in Hunters Hill, Mullumbimby and Dubbo between 2023 and 2024.
Hey, he pronounced them all right.
I did. I was like,
there you go. There was a slight pause.
Inspectors identified a series of food safety failures, such as food not being cooled to safe temperatures, ham sourced from a supplier without an approved listeria management program, and inadequate food safety records.
That's fine. Listeria and pork is not like a big deal, though, right?
It's
like,
totally
it's probably
fine. Totally fine.
I think it's fine.
Mercy Health and Aged Care's Albury facility received improvement notices in October 2022 and in August 2024 after inspectors found food monitoring records were not being properly maintained. Anyway, so the list goes on there with aged care. And then there's one here for fruit and veg
being
sellers.
Old honestly sounds fucking miserable.
It does, doesn't it?
It sounds fucking horrendous. Not only do you have to go to some fucking facility because your family doesn't love you anymore and they're sick of dealing with your shit.
Yeah.
You keep saying racist things. Not only that, but then you also get fucking poisoned by the people who are supposed to be giving you food. That's outstanding.
George, it'll be us one day.
Yeah. What's going to be the racist thing that we'll get? Like, what will be the thing that our kids accuse us of that's like, like not woke in
Probably
like 2070?
Discrimination against like synthetics, I reckon it'll be.
Oh, bro,
like
yes.
that,
I was
right?
going to say like eating meat, like not being a vegan.
Oh yeah, maybe, but
I can't believe you eat meat, Granddad. That's disgusting. I was like, I don't know, like a good steak. And they're like, oh, you're an animal. That's disgusting. But yeah, synthetics. My digital boyfriend, Granddad. And I'm like, no, shut up.
Yeah, all of us now being like, people fraternizing with the AIs are clankers. Like, I reckon as soon as it gets more and more advanced and accepted, like
I think your
generations
granddad doesn't
down.
like me. Ooh.
Yeah.
And it's like, shut up, it's not real, it's a computer. It's a computer, you idiot. Sorry, Adam, go on.
The documents also reveal a fruit and vegetable operator failed to notify the New South Wales Food Authority within the legally required 24 hours after dangerous bacteria, more listeria, was detected in rock melon. And after that, they only got a $330 fine.
It's listeria hysteria over here, all right? It's no big deal. Get over it, guys. A little bit of listeria never killed anyone, except all those kids.
And there's also numerous reports that Abigail Boyd has pointed out around abattoirs and what's happening in abattoirs.
On the horse meat thing, I wouldn't be like horse. It's like a bit of an ick factor. It's gonna. I don't want horse, but it's like I don't want dead horse in my dead beef. It's kind of like nah. But they eat it in Sicily. You can go get like a horse sandwich down the street. I had one. They're great. Like it's not a big deal.
Horse meat in a lot of cultures is quite common.
It's red meat. It's all fucking meat, guys. I hate to burst your bubble.
In other countries, and I think you could argue for a long time about like the lines we draw on why we eat some animals and not others.
Would I personally eat dog? Like culturally, no. It's like not in my vocabulary, my sort of I don't know, culinary vocabulary, I guess you would say. But like, I recognize the irony. There's a logical inconsistency there. If I'm happy to eat a cow's ass, like...
Specifically its ass?
Morally, just the ass.
Yeah.
The ass. I have to say ass. Just the ass. Nice rump steak. But like, morally, ethically, there's no difference between a cow and a dog with regards to like the life you are taking in order to consume meat. I understand that there's a logical inconsistency there. There's a tension. Like all meat is technically you killing something to consume its body. Like if you think about it at that level of abstraction, it's all fucking gross. And yet, I love a good juicy eye fillet. So just pop it on the barbie, or you just get a little marinade with a little soy sauce, a little Worcestershire sauce.
I think what's far more likely is that large scale terrestrial farming becomes either so unsustainable or either it becomes too expensive that we can't afford meat and we have to become vegan, or secondly, there's ecological collapse and we can't actually support large farming anyway, and we have to start eating crickets.
Dread. Bringing true. Yes,
Start eating the crickets because that's the only thing we can actually, like the locusts have come in such quantities that they are now a food source.
Check out my new whey protein, guys. It's the only thing that you're legally allowed to eat. Like and subscribe, otherwise you'll die.
It's all right, as long as we can still make, I don't know, cupcakes out of locusts, we'll be fine.
Can you make crunchy, Dad?
Can you bake? Can you bake with insects?
I don't like these cupcakes, Dad. They're too weird. It's your birthday. Fucking blow out the candle, son. Fuck.
Insect cupcakes.
I bet you could, I mean, you can get cricket protein and all that sort of shit. I mean, people have been pushing that as like an environmental alternative to a lot of these things and like protein in the third world for some years. For understandable reasons, it has not taken off because people have the ick when eating insects. It's a fun thing to do, like when you're in Cabo one time. It's not so fun as like Thursday going to pick up a bag of crickets for dinner. What you got there, Dad? Never you mind, son.
So, Google's
it's like a mortar and pestle just going.
Just grinding up some in a blender.
Google's letting me
Little
down.
Fucking legs flying out of the fucking blender. Just blending up some fucking delicious protein, son.
Yeah, Google's letting me down. It's giving me like, oh, you want cupcakes with like insects on the icing? I'm like, no, I don't want a cupcake with like a picture of a fucking ladybug on it.
No, Google, I'm a freak.
Like, can I bake a cake that has bugs in it? That's what I want to know.
Actual bugs. Why do you not get this, Google? Yeah. All right, that's enough internet for today. On that note, we have been, we are, and we always will be Unnatural Selection. Make sure you visit us at our salubrious home on the web, unnaturalshow.com. Make sure you follow us on all the bullshit social medias that are ruining the world, that have, do, or ever will exist, at our handle, at Unnatural Show. That's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and motherflipping TikTok. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Jorge Tsipos.
You can follow me on Threads at Tom.Heath.
You can follow me to Vietnam, where I'll be looking for whatever delicacies that I can find on the street.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, don't eat street food. That's not. Please don't.
Just got to raw dog that shit. Let's go.
No.
Do it.
Raw dog it like Anthropic. Tom, have you found some bug cake related news that you want to share?
Google,
You've got that
Google
look on your
came
face.
through, or at least someone's got a recipe that includes cricket flour.
Hey Gemini, no, I'm a freak. I need you to return the weird bug stuff.
Yeah, cricket flour and pumpkin spiced Halloween cupcakes with scorpions is the
Cursed.
recipe that
Truly cursed. A nightmare. An actual living nightmare. On that note, no, I already did that. That was a podcast. Thanks. Bye.